Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the stream. This is going to be replayable on the library of videos on my channel. Yesterday was the solar eclipse, so. Hey guys, how are you? Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm going to be doing a free yes and no crystal ball, and my tarot list opens. My tarot is 25. So I'm going to be doing free yes and no, but it doesn't substitute a reading. So you get a message to your question. Okay, some questions are not eligible. Most are. So I'm going to be starting that off. I'm just waiting for the stream to properly load so that it goes smoothly before I start the free yes and no. How is everybody today? All right, it doesn't look like it's loading very well. Oh, here we go. Okay, a little slow start. The platform must have done an update. All right, we're gonna start the free yes and no. So this one is from Courtney. Is Gus currently missing you? Okay, Gus. So I do see a person, male, from the back, sitting in a chair at a group table. It seems like there's like a card game or something manual. It doesn't, it seems like a board game or a card game. This is the energy that I see with Gus. So this can be a memory, or this can be something related to maybe when you met, or it's something significant in his life. It is relative, again, but if you've been out of touch with this person, you may not know his current, but usually a person with a history, their likes and stuff is very known. So, are you aware of anything where he enjoys card games or anything that's like that? So the message is accurate. It's just, I don't know how it fits into his life. This could have been this could have been very much in his past or something that he's now doing. All right, so the message, if you don't understand what I'm saying to you, then I'm not going to go further with the message. Okay, there's more information, but if you don't understand it, then I'm going to leave it like that. That means that you're not connecting with what I'm saying. It is accurate. So again, there's a man playing cards in a group setting. So if this has to do with the people he's hanging around, maybe that's what wedged a situation between both of them. Maybe it's the crowd. Or it's something that he maybe it was right before you met, something that he desired to do. It's not the card itself, it's not the card game itself, it's the fact that it's really the crowd and what he's, where he's being placed. All right, think about it. It may resonate a little bit later. All right, and then we can finish the message. Okay, Brittany, will Publix call you? Oh, I don't do questions like that unless you do a job reading, and then when you do a job tarot, then I'll open up things like that. Okay, let's see. So I'm waiting for questions. Okay, Annie, will your boyfriend and you get married in the future? Okay, that's pretty relatively straightforward. So Annie and the boyfriend. I do see a delay with things. Say I see a woman approaching, like I guess you're both standing, so there's got to be like a counter space or something. The point is, I see the woman very like not hinting, but kind of like, with her mind kind of sending the message constantly. So this is like, I guess, what they call internal manifesting. You don't voice it, it's like sending the signal, and I don't see that the guy picks up on it, because I see like a disconnected thought. So like, let's say for example, you drive by a ring shop, or maybe there's a ring on the commercial or something, and you intensely, and then the person's just like, like somewhere else. So I don't see that this is something that they are very intently thinking about, every day. We'd have to see more, like with a love reading or with astrology, to see like the future, to see what he's going to do about it. As of the energy right now, there's not enough. I don't see that he's like into the whole marital thinking. He may want to, but I just don't see that he's highly active in that thinking, So yeah, for now I would say no. Okay, Kayla, is TJ coming back to you? Okay, TJ. You don't have to settle for that, because if you had a conversation about it with him and he's saying, kind of giving you that, that inference, that's not okay. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but for a female, don't put up with that, because years, I'm not saying leave him, absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, with Gus, you said his name was, right? Gus. You can try different strategies. If there's a lot of love there, I wouldn't know, because I'm not doing a reading, but that's something I would investigate, But if there's a lot of love there and it's rooted in something very strong and healthy, but he's just scared or has, thinks he can put it on the back burner, there's a lot of things that you can do that are classy, and you don't have to sit there begging for, that's ridiculous to lower yourself like that. There's a lot of things you could do in a conversation where he asks you something, and you can prep it. You can have a friend do it. You can have a relative do it that you trust. Because friends, I don't know, 1 minute, a person will say, oh yeah, I'll help you. And then the next minute they'll throw it in your face. It's gotta be somebody who really loves you. Really maybe the connection is, you'd have to know that they've been there for sure. then that person will just say, yeah, I'll totally prep the conversation. And then you can say something, like, let's say a friend is over and the friend is saying to you, let's say that they're asking you for advice, false advice. And they say, what should I do? You should say in front of him, well, wait till he says something, because a friend will say, well, what do you think I should do? And then you say, come on, just tell me, what should I do? And you should say, if he doesn't ask at a certain amount of time, then leave. Something like that. Have your dignity. Don't put up with that for more than, absolutely pack and get that going, and he'll be like, uh-oh. Something like that where you just mean it. But you see, one of the things that's dangerous with that advice is you got to walk your talk. If you get to the point where it does come up or something where he says, I just don't feel, you could say, oh, okay, then I gotta go because I have a life to live. And I'm worth more, or just leave, and always have a backup plan. And that's the hard part, because when a woman kind of plays the word game and then they don't stick to it, he'll walk all over you for the rest of your life, and you will not get a ring. You have to at some point have that strength, because you don't want to live. I knew a couple that were together 30 years, and we were sitting, it was a group of it was like one of those like parties, and somebody brought up something about how long they were together, and everybody else was just listening to them. I don't really know who they were, but and when somebody mentioned engagement, the woman's eyes became watered. Everybody's like, whoa, there's an emotion trigger there. And the guy goes, oh, I don't know. I just never asked her, I guess. It was just, we've always been together. 30 years, and she put up with that and her eyes watered? Oh, sweetheart, please grow some balls. Get up and say, fuck off. Sorry, bye-bye. So don't live like that. Don't live like that. You gotta start soft, and you try. But if you try and you try, if a man has your mind, body, and soul, okay, and you're his wife, nurse, friend, everything else, and it's been 8 months, he's not getting you a ring. Just saying. Like, that's it. If it hits the 8-month mark. Those are statistics that come from some of the top research with ring companies. So people that make gowns and sell rings, 7, okay. Yeah, don't get comfortable in that. Yeah, don't get comfortable in that, because that's how it will stay. And then you have to beg for it. And then who the hell wants something you have to beg for? Are you serious right now? He can shove it up his ass if you have to beg for it. I'm sorry. He will feel it. If you're friends and lovers and you have that connection and you start feeling separate, he will feel that energy. Stand your ground. But don't say, oh, if you don't give me this, I'm leaving. Just say, I need to know. And that's what I'm saying. Start soft, because you don't want to ever go into a situation where you look back and you're like, oh my God, I had to, you want to start soft. You want to start with the whole friend thing. Let them bring it up. And then you want to start feeling within yourself like you're going to give off a vibe when you start planning in your head. I've known so many women that just stay in that situation, and it angers me because they deserve more, and then when they leave, then the guy doesn't really care. That's sad. Don't live like that. So start off small, and then have the mom, if you have a good relationship with your mom or your dad or your cousin or whatever, then have them probe a little bit. You guys get married, and then you can say at one point, I don't know. If it doesn't happen by a certain time, I'm motherfucking gone. Like, you could say something cynical, and then don't be so smoochies, and start small shifts, little things you do for him. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know, and he'll say it. No, don't say it. Don't say it, because then you'll look back and you'll feel degraded. Don't say it. Be tricky and have him, yeah, you try all the techniques. Try the friend thing, try the family thing. Trust me, I've seen enough couples. I read on love every day, years and years, okay? It will get to the point where if he really cares and he's in tune, and he's got to see a change, a little bit of a distance, not sharing your thoughts, disconnected. And he'll say, do you want to leave me? Do you love me? Ah, then you've got a smart man. When he starts saying, you love me? You still love me? Are you, you still want to be with me? What's going on? And you say, that's when you very carefully say the right words. And then that's when he'll know, damn, she means business, because you slowly, low-key, gradually led to that very intelligent place. You're using social intelligence, emotional intelligence. You're not going to degrade yourself and look back and think you got the ring because you had to say that, because then what value does it have? Okay? So you want to stand your ground, and you want to do it slowly. You took a long time for you to build up 7 months. It's not going to happen overnight, but you got to work at it, because you can't stay like that. He's getting the best of you. He is getting the best of you. And if that doesn't deserve a ring and recognition, it's not the stupid fucking ring. It's what comes with the ring. I mean, yeah, everybody likes bling, but it's what comes with it. It's the dedication a person has, saying, I recognize you. I recognize you, and you are special to me, and I share you off to the world. That's what it means. And if you can't have that, he can go fly a fucking kite. Okay? All right, sweetheart. Have a good one. All right, Melissa, did Ricardo see the note you left? Oh, I don't do questions like that unless you do a reading. All right, let's see. I missed some questions, so I'm going to go up and see. Eva's asking, your husband told you he wishes, okay. So you're asking, why does he need so much control? That's a psychological question. You would have to ask, a therapist. That's evaluating someone's psyche, meaning their tendencies, what has led to his emotional capacity. Yeah, those are psychological questions. If you want me to look at a reading, a love reading, based on what has led him to that position, what has led him to that place, what went awry and soured the wine in the relationship, and what his mindset is, we'll do a deep dive, and that will definitely give me clarity on where it's going and what the potential is, yay or nay, if you want to look at it that way. But you're asking a psychological question, and I do not pretend I'm a psychologist. All right, I'm a psychic. All right, let's see. Kayla, is TJ coming back? Oh, I did answer that. Okay, let's see. Roseanne, is your daughter Isabella boyfriend good for her? Okay, that's fine. You're a mom worried about your daughter. Okay, that's fine. So Isabella and the boyfriend. So I'm jumping connection, so I'm doing it to your daughter, and then I'm asking about another person. So because of that, I want to connect a little bit more, because these are on the fly. Go ahead and give me his sign. So like Taurus, Aries, whatever, okay? Isabella, and if you don't want to give me his name, give me his sign, okay? And I'll answer it for you. All right, let's see. Gina, will Kyle make things official when you are on vacation? Okay, not a problem. So Kyle. Hang on a minute, let me connect. I'm not a robot. Kyle and Gina. I do see something very special. So that means, so I see two people kissing in an embrace. So that means to me that either the words are very kind, or very jovial, very connected. Maybe he says something really sweet. Maybe there's like a heart to heart. Yes, it could be some kind of committed conversation, right? So some agreement. So you're asking, is he going to be more serious or take things to another level? So that can be commitment. That can be, it's open, because you said the words official. So official could be boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be title. It could be engagement. It could be setting a wedding date. So there's a lot of open space there for the word official. So I do see something dedicated. All right, that's the answer. So something positive comes out. Is it a literal, phrase or something like that? I'd have to do a reading. But yes, I do see something meaningful, but it's questionable what the meaningful is. Okay. All right, be vague with me. I'll be vague with you right back. All right, Thea, am I meeting your future boyfriend tomorrow? Yes, I can definitely answer that if you book astrology with me. That's where I do timing. All right, timing. Hey, how are you? All right, Soul, does Edward still have feelings for you? Okay, Edward. Interesting way to spell Edward. Edward with a double D. Okay. So I see a man, standing, leaning over a female who seems very somber. It looks like he's aware of her feelings. I would say he's very aware of what you're feeling and your vulnerabilities, and he's just not connecting to them. So he's not, sharing the same feelings that you are. So I would say no to that question. I'm sure he feels things, there's something there, but yeah, point blank, no. All right, you say Karina, 2391. Okay, so you're asking about other people. Should they be in a romantic relationship? You're asking about other people. I don't answer questions for other people. I don't butt into people's lives. Like if you want to ask me a question about yourself, that's fine. As far as the birth dates, you would have to book an astrology with me. All right, and that's where I will answer that, and way more than that, and tell you about your relationship and tell you a lot of things you need to be aware of in the future. That's what astrology is about. Okay, let's see. Does Dylan want to be in a relationship with you? Okay, Dylan for Amanda. I would say no. I would say that, first of all, let's talk about how he sees you. Very good, as a very good person. There's a level of maybe something religious there. So if you grew up with maybe like something Catholic or something, there's got to be some kind of ambiance in your home or your upbringing, or there's got to be something there, because this talks about values. In other words, what I'm trying to get at is the way he sees you is that you have a lot of the gentleness and a lot of the good heart that he admires or would want in a partner. But I also see he's conflicted, and he's very, very unhappy with what he's accomplished in his life. And I see him leaving at some point. So I don't know if he's ex-military, or maybe there's like a mountainous area. So I don't know if he's leaving in that direction. Maybe he's from there originally, a very mountainous region. I just see that it's not because of you that the answer is no. I would say the answer is no because of a lot of things. It has to do with his life and money and self-esteem and issues. And there's something else happening in his life where he has to, kind of change where he's at. So I don't know if he has control over that or not. It's not a simple yes and no in this situation. I would say no. That part's clear. The answer is no, at least at this point in life. But the reason as to why, I believe, is multi-layered. Okay. All right, let's see. Will you find financial stability within the next few months? So that would be great for a reading, and I would probably do tarot and some astrology with that. But we'll go ahead and get an idea of the energy. It doesn't substitute a reading, but I will give you an answer. Ava, financial stability. So I would say that the help can come from a mate or a male, you know. So in other words, no, because stability is when there is, you know, an anchored job or something that has like a, you know, a predictable ebb and flow. I see help coming. So stability, if you want to take it that way by gaining help, then I would say yes. But stability to me is something that is more anchored, has a more predictable outcome. So I would say at this time, no, it's still variable. It's not fixed. All right, let's see. Okay. Sorry, I had to block a troll. Okay, let's see. Violet, is Gardner an energetic vampire? Probably. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Oh, okay, Savion. Oh, okay, Savion. Okay, not a problem. So this is for Roseanne. Let's see. Roseanne is asking about Isabella. So I'm going to do the question for Isabella and Savion. Okay, so he is, you know, I would say no. I see that he has a lot of good qualities to him. I see that he is, you know, he checks off a lot of boxes. You know, his demeanor, his personality, his manners, his, you know, there's a lot of good things, but this is a person that their upbringing, you know, the household that carved them has a different system, a different values, you know. I believe that he can bring a change to her that you may not like. So this is why I say no, because I see that he changes her and it has an impactful change. So it's maybe the way he stirs her or the way that he believes things, and she wants to, you know, be more accepted by him. So she kind of goes in his direction. So he becomes kind of like the sculptor, the leader of. So you will see some changes, but I don't think you're going to be able to break that tie up if you don't approve. You know, so I do see a lot of grip there. But I would say the answer is no because of that. It's something you won't see till later, because the beginning is there's a lot of good there. There's a lot of good there at first. That's what people see first. How does he act, and how does he respond, and how does he, you know, how is his behavior? And, you know, they look for things like that, but they don't look at patterns in the family. They don't look at, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because that, he's a product of that. And that's something you have to be very aware of, is the change that will come later, probably in the middle of 2026, just to give you an idea. But it's something that they can have some ups and downs, but this would carry on through. It wouldn't be over the first run. It would have more waves. All right, thank you so much. Hope that helps. Let's see. Hello, are you and Sebastian Sagittarius? I'd like to know. Oh, me, Sebastian. Okay, you're the Sagittarius. Okay, would like to know if Morgan is going to unblock you. Okay, the Virgo. Oh, Sag and Virgo. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. No, not like that. Not just like that. Very, very, very stubborn, stern personality there. No, there's other ways around it. It would probably take you into the uncomfortable. In other words, you would have to kind of come to your knees, you know. You know, in other words, you know, if she sees that you have, you know, like maybe try popping up with flowers at her job or something like that. Something chivalrous, something old-fashioned, something traditional. You know, if you're like, oh no, I'm not going to bend to my knees and lower myself that way, I'm not going to do that. I don't know, because she's very strong in her opinions. I would say for now, no. She will change and soften, but you would have to do something really special. Okay, I mean, it is just for now, you know, for now it's no, but energy changes a lot, so, all right. Okay, I'm giving you an idea. That you know, it's a concept. It's figurative, you know, not literal. So what I'm trying to say to you is that it would have to be something, you know, where she would register it as, when I say, you know, come to your knees, you know, it doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to sit there walking like a dog on all fours. You're not, you can't take, you know, understand that I'm figuratively explaining, you know, the vibe of the feeling, you know. So if I say something, it's like, oh, I have bad knees, I can't do that. You know, I just can't think of it that way. You know what I mean? You have to open your mind. What I'm trying to say is that it would have to be something where it would register in her mind, your behavior, that it's really, you know, coming from a place of, you know, forgiveness, like a place of really being sorry. The kindness, like that's what it is. And if and the answer is no. She's very strong. That's why I'm telling you. So if she's very stern on what, you know, is going on, you need to let things cool off. That's obvious. That's like the sky is blue, you know. All right. People take everything to a literal sense. That means kneel. No, I'm not telling you to kneel. Okay. Hey, Kobe. It's Lucy. It's Lucy. Yes, you can. Not a problem. Okay, let's see. Falia, will James reconcile with you? Yes. Let me do that question right now. Yes, meaning I'm going to do that question now, is what I'm saying. So the Leo and the Cancer. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so the reconciliation is difficult. This person is kind of stuck in their thinking, and I also see another person getting involved to kind of appease things. So you might bring a friend, or maybe, you know, by bringing a friend, I don't mean you take them by the hand and say, here's my friend. What I'm saying is, because the other guy took everything I said literal, like that means Neil. I'm saying, figuratively, like I'm seeing the influence of another person in this situation. So what I mean by that is, that either you tell him so and so said this, or sometimes people refer to a friend and says, my friend told me this, and I see an influence, whether it was inserted by conversation, whether it was, a shared text, whether it was exchanged dialogue in person. In other words, the answer is, if it's a yes and a no, it would be no. But that doesn't mean it has to stay that way, because once the male Cancer feels heard, then they drop that hard wall. So male Cancers, they're one of the probably the most resistant of all of the signs. So you're not going to get them to bend. You can turn blue and you will not get them to bend. So, yeah. You did that and it was a rumor and it kind of, okay. So what I'm saying is that's what I see. So that means I was seeing something from the past. Okay, so let's go over it again. So you asked me if the person, if he was going to, I think you said something like forgive you or something like that. I could go back to the question. Let me go back. Let me reference it. Give me 1 second. Let me go back. Let's go back to your question. Okay, Falia is asking, will James, all right, so I'm asking about James the Cancer. Will he reconcile? So in the vision, I saw two people talking, and then there was like this other energy. So another person. And I didn't know how, so I made a future reference. I said, well, I would say no, because I see that this person's very, like, won't bend. There's very resistant energy, I said, something like that. And, I see the influence of another person. So I was thinking, like, maybe in my head, I'm thinking, maybe you, Falia, maybe you're gonna, like, reference your friend or something, because I see, like, a third person here. But I would say no, he's not going to bend until he feels recognized for his feelings. Like, okay, yes, you were right. So you're saying that did happen, but it was like a gossip thing or something. I understand. So if I'm seeing what pissed him off, which would be the third person, the gossip, then the answer is no. And it's still no. It just means that he's, the question doesn't really change the vision, it doesn't change things at all. You could have said, can Donald Duck dance with Mickey Mouse? And because your energy was so focused on the person, I'm going to pick up on that energy. It's hard to explain. I like for a person to form the question, but in reality, a lot of people fault their question. They trick it, they bend it. You're very honest, but I'm saying, I don't pay attention to the question too much. It's the energy of what they're really feeling and asking. So I would say no. I'd say he's very pissed off. Is it going to stay that way? No. The key to kind of like changing the mind of a male Cancer is to say, I see it your way. Yes, I recognize your feelings. I get it. I agree now. And then he will feel, okay, so I don't have to resist like that. She sees it my way. They kind of bully the thought, right? So think of, Elon Musk, he's a male Cancer, or maybe like Tom Cruise in an interview, they're not going to bend. They're going to take control of the interviewer, So you have to think of a male Cancer that way. They're very difficult. That part I'm not sure, because when I do readings, then I can answer that question. I'm not trying to be difficult or anything like that. The answer that I have for you based on your question right now is no. Why? He's holding on to that with a grudge. You made me feel that. You pissed me off. Da-da-da-da-da. And that's how they'll, the little crab, they're not going to forget that. So that's what they're holding on to right now. And they hold on to it for a while, unless it's fixed. If not, they'll never let it go. So, so that's the answer that I have. Now, if you want me to look further, you'd have to book a reading. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but unfortunately, that's how I work. It's not like I can in 2 seconds tell everyone the whole story. I do have to do a reading. I do have to do what I do, and that is look into the situation deeply. What are the options? What are the obstacles? What can this outcome bring? And I brainstorm and I talk to you and we look at everything like that. First, I like to do everything organic, like to see like what comes up. I don't really want to hear too much from the client because I want to know what comes up naturally. Was there a fight at a certain thing? Was there a relative that kind of, was nosy? I like to see the story come out. And then once I see it, then I can layer it and start navigating and then come up with a guidance to, give clarity to the situation. That's how I work. All right, sweetheart, thank you so much. Remember, guys, I'm doing something called speed gazing. If you're interested in learning crystal ball, it is, I used to teach it. There's many techniques with crystal ball. There's long strand kind of gazing for long readings, but these are on the fly, so you're not going to get like the full story, but you are going to get like an answer to your question somewhat. All right, thank you so much. Let's see. Nisha, will Anthony call you back? Okay. You miss him calling you all. Okay, sweetheart, let's see. I'm going to ask again, okay? There's something I need to ask. Yeah. Okay, I got the same thing twice. Okay, not a problem. So I'll explain. I do see a man comforting a woman in a conversation that seems very lovey-dovey, so like a tenderness. So it's obvious from afar if you would look at the way my vision looks in real life, like if people were on a picnic or something, just to give you an example. You could tell that they are a romantic couple because there's like a certain way their body language is, but you can tell that there's something because of the distance, but yet the connection with the hands. You can tell that there's something going on, like someone's sad or there's something stressful there. So all I'm trying to tell you is don't worry about that too much. It's just explaining what I'm seeing. It shows me that, he feels, it's almost like when a person has like a temper tantrum or like they're really, really, really into them being pissed off and upset, and then they cool down. And then they're like, I was so hard on them. And then they come around, and then when they deal with you, you kind of give them like this softness, response, and then they come around and they soften, and then you explain your feelings. And when I think about it, Libra and Cancer kind of have that dynamic. Libra, they can have a very brutal mouth, but usually they're so balancing. They kind of wait and they assess things, and they don't make a move really until they're not going to rock the boat. A Libra's not going to sit there rocking the boat and causing and poking issues. They don't do that. And the Cancer can be very moody, and one day something can just piss them off out of nowhere, and the next day, they kind of feel bad about how they reacted. You're very honest with their feelings. They're very out loud with what they feel, where the Libra can suppress what they're feeling very much, so you can't read them. At the same time, the Cancer, you will not really know about their entire life because they're probably one of the most private, if not the most private sign. But when it comes to how something pissed them off or made them happy, you'll see it spill everywhere. So I would say you do make up, give it some time. This is something that naturally will occur. Just there's nothing for you to do. There's nothing for me to tell you, oh, do this, do that. Just naturally be yourself. I do see that you reconcile. But time is of essence. So now it's just a waiting game. If you want me to do more of a timing thing, then we book astrology with me. I'll time it. I'll clock it. But just wait, if you want to, people hate waiting, but it's part of life, All right. Megan, can Corey and you reconcile? Okay, so Aquarius with Pisces. Oh. Aquarius and Pisces. Okay, so let's forget the signs. Let's just focus on the human energy. So I'm gonna focus on Corey right now. Megan is asking about Corey. So I see a helium balloon that's heart-shaped. This seems like it's the past because we're not near Valentine's at all. We're not near February at all. So this has to be a memory because I do see a balloon that is like a helium balloon, heart-shaped. So this is a memory. So this means a person's thinking about you. That particular day, I see other balloons too, that day, helium balloons. That particular moment, that person was putting a lot of effort and you were, because I see one person putting a lot of emotional effort and the other person was not as present in the moment, was not as available emotionally. They were conflicted, they were not saying much. It's a weird, awkward feeling. So this is a memory. So because it's rooting to a memory, I would say the connection is still very strong, and the existence of thought of missing is very, very much in the present. So I would say yes. I would say that their reconciliation is possible. But you have to speak the male Pisces language. And they're very difficult. It's not easy. It's like doing a Rubik's Cube in 10 seconds. It's not going to work. So, yeah, just be patient. Being Aquarius, you're very, a female Aquarius is very, once you make a decision, you just do what you feel. If you don't like something, you'll just say, I don't like it. No, this way, that way, I'm going this way. Very determined. And you might be too edgy for the Pisces male. So it might, rub him the wrong way sometimes. So there could be some conflict there with just being all natural, and then all of a sudden, naturally, female Aquarius and male Pisces can kind of have static electricity. So you kind of have to understand him for things to flow smoothly, because he's gonna unsettle you and vice versa. But I would say yes, reconciliation is definitely possible because there's a lot of heaviness to the memory. Okay. Let's see. Oh, hey guys, I don't do gifts or anything like that. I have a shop. I'm a company. I'm a small business. So if you want to buy a reading from me, you just book a reading. People give gifts. I'm not sure what they're for. I think the algorithm takes note of it or something, and it gives like a person points or something. But I appreciate it. But I don't want you spending, your money on gifts or anything like that, because I don't really know how they work. These are free. But I appreciate that anyway. Okay, let's see. Sebastian Sag would like to know if Morgan left you for another person. So you could book a love reading with me, and I'll get into that and a hell of a lot more. Okay, give you clarity on what you're stuck about. That's why I do readings. The person doesn't walk away not knowing. All right. All right, that's what they're for. Okay, let's see. So I have two options. I have a surface reading. Some people just want on the surface an answer, get an idea, a concept, and then they're on their way. That's 25, it's 10 cards. And some people want to sit and really get as deep as possible, and those are 48. All right, let's see. Oh, hey, Kobe, you did? Okay, sweetheart, no worries. I will, did you do it through, I'll check. PayPal or, I'll check right now. Hang on, sweetheart. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna pause the live because I gotta open my order form. I don't know if I'm still live. Am I still live? Yes, I'm still live. Can you guys hear me? I don't know. Maybe it was, no, it wasn't recording. So I'll load this reading on when it's done, and then I'll have the other one in bits and pieces. So I'm gonna end this stream here.